I've seen a couple of studies published recently that talk about if oil is at $100 a barrel.
104.
That just the oil, gas, and mineral reserves of the U.S. government are worth over $128 trillion. Have you heard that?
No, I don't know what it is, but of course, I mean, all that stuff, you know, I mean, what are the mineral rights in Africa worth? I mean, you know,
So,
you have to get it, you have to mine this stuff. It's not worth anything unless you can extract it, right?
Right. But if you look at the oil, gas, and mineral rights, let alone all the fisheries, timber, land, the tax base of the U.S. government, it seems to me that there's a lot more value there than the $16 trillion debt.
Well, because the $16 trillion debt is the tip of the iceberg. The real debt is over $100 trillion. So if you want to look at the real debt,
but the assets approach $200 trillion.
now, but the assets aren't there until you have the money to extract them. You can't just say, well, we have all this.
Well, it's like
and meanwhile, you've got the environmental, you've got government agencies preventing us from harvesting most of that anyway.
Well, it's like Bill Gates' stock. He has $72 billion worth of stock in Microsoft, but I'd be pretty comfortable loaning him $7 billion, which would be 10% of his net worth if he sells his stock. So why do you say the U.S. dollar is worthless if the assets are 10 to 1
well, what are
to the debt?
Well, look, what are the resources of Argentina? I mean, what were the resources? You know, what were the resources in the Weimar in Germany when they destroyed the Reichsmark? It does. That's the theoretical value of unmined minerals and oil. You know, doesn't do anything when you have to pay your bills right now.
Your gold mining stock is based on.
No,
the theoretical
gold
value of gold in the ground.
No, but the gold mining company is mining the gold and generating income. We can't, if we have to pay our bills, if interest rates go up and we have to spend $2 or $3 trillion a year in interest on the national debt, you know, we can't just sell to our creditors all the mineral rights to the United States. And meanwhile, who would even trust it? I mean, the minute we sell it, we'll steal it right back. I mean, you think the United States government is going to just sell off to the Japanese and the Chinese all the federal land? You know, I mean...
No, but they're going to sell oil, gas,
No,
minerals.
we can't sell it until we get it out of the ground. And it's expensive to get it out of the ground.
But that's what your gold mining stocks are based on, too. Gold
But that's
in the ground.
those mines are producing and they have that gold. The government...
We have oil wells sucking the oil out of the ground and selling
I know,
it.
we're already doing it as fast as we can, and it's not mattering. We're still importing more oil than we produce. Look, we don't have enough wealth to bail us out of all this debt. You know, it just doesn't happen. It's
all
like
right, well,
during the real estate bubble, right?
Let me ask you this.
I want to make this point. During the real estate bubble, and this is what everybody argued with me. When I talked about all the mortgage debt, everybody said, but Peter is ignoring the equity. We have all this home equity, and so the debt is manageable because we have all the equity. And I would say the equity doesn't mean anything because it's not real. The equity can evaporate, but the debt can't. When real estate prices go down, then what? I said the equity is ephemeral, and when interest rates go up and the equity collapses, there's no ability to service the debt. And it doesn't matter how much, I mean, there's probably more resources in Africa. They probably have more minerals in Africa than we have here. But what is it worth when you have all these governments that are
but the
so
Chinese
corrupt?
are going there to extract it, right?
But it doesn't. It's not going to save us, right? It's not. It's not a get out of jail free card. You know, plenty of countries with lots of wealth in the ground have gone broke, right?
Well,
because it's not above ground right now to pay our debts.
Okay, didn't you talk about Norway as being a great country to invest
Yeah.
in? Okay, doesn't it have one of the highest tax rates?
No, it doesn't.
One of the best social safety nets?
That is the Norway of the past. The Norway of the today, right, has lower taxes than we do. But one of the reasons I like Norway too is the reserves behind their currency. They have so much wealth behind their currency. Each Norwegian citizen probably has, I don't know what it is, $500,000 behind them. Americans are in debt. Every American is hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. The Norwegians are the opposite. The Norwegian government has a huge surplus. There's no debt there. There's just massive surplus. That is, you know, all the Norwegian citizens. But the Scandinavian countries did embrace socialism, after capitalism got them wealthy. They gravitated towards socialism, and when socialism brought them to the verge of bankruptcy, then they had to start dismantling it. So what's really attractive about the Scandinavian countries is that they have so much government that they're puking it out now, and the pendulum is going the other way. I mean, Sweden has no inheritance tax now. Sweden has lower income taxes than America. They have, they have no capital gains tax. So, people think, oh, it was a socialist paradise. It was a socialist hell, right? But they were wealthy countries because capitalism made them rich. And then they adopted these socialist policies that undermined all the growth that they were getting before, but now they are going in the other direction, and that's part of the appeal. Plus, there's lots of oil in Norway, and that's another reason that we like Norway, is because of the tremendous oil wealth, and I think oil prices are going to go up. And do I think that America having oil, is that a positive? Yes. I mean, we have a lot of oil wells. I mean, I own a lot of oil wells myself now, in Texas and in North Dakota. So we've been involved in oil drilling for 4 or 5 years. So yes, it's a positive that we have this oil, but it's not a get out of jail free card. And it's not enough of a positive that it makes all the other negatives go away. Yeah.